said 12 o'clock. కూర్చుని ఆ మైక్ యూజ్ చేయండి. ఇక్కడ దగ్గర పక్కన కూర్చోండి. కంపోజ్ బై టూ అని చెప్పి we will now present a song composed by Shri G.B. Murthy of Madras, and the song is dedicated and is also on Mataji. I shall say the lyrics and he will give the meaning of it.
First two stanzas.
Yes. Vinara vinara mudhamate, vinara vinara nirmala margame janma safalam, kanara kanara sahaja yogula challani anandam, vinara vinara mudhamate.
See, this is a song which we sing in bhajan form in our Madras center. When Dr. Chittibabu heard it, he said he would like to play it here. But being a maestro, he set it to in his own classical style. The meaning is, I can say in my own broken Hindi, Sunre Sunre Mudhamate, Sunre Sunre Nirmal Margame Janma Sapalye, Dekore Dekore Sahaja Yogone Tandi Anande.
And the next stanza is Kalilu Punya Chindwaralo Jagadjanani Jananam. Kalilu Punya Chindwaralo Jagadjanani Jananam Ilalu मानव पुनर्जन्म को योग बहुमानो विनरा विनरा.
कलियुग में पुण्य चिंद्वार में जगत जननी जननी
इललो
दिया मानव पुनर्जन्म के लिए योग बहुमान. ऐसा चलता है.
नेक्स्ट Shri Nirmal Devi Namasmarana Papa Vimochana Nischintaku Okkate Dari Devi Pada Namaskaram. I am sure this needs no translation. Shri Nirmal Devi Namasmarana Papa Vimochanam Nischintaku Okkate Dari Devi Pada Namaskaram. Vinara Vinara Mudhamate. I shall now render it. Okay. We conclude the concert with a Meera bhajan and the raga, the South Indian classical raga, Sindhu Bhairavi, which is akin to Bhairavi, I think, in the Bhairav or Bhairavi? Bhairavi in Hindustani class.
जय श्री माता जी। हम सभी श्री माता जी को सामूहिक प्रणाम कर कुंडलिनी उठाकर बंधन लेंगे। तीन महामंत्र और श्री गणेश मंत्र।
साक्षात् श्री गणेश साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः।
इसी ध्यान की अवस्था में हम सभी श्री माता जी की अमृत वाणी को आत्मसात करेंगे।
Today is the last day in this pandal, and today I'll be telling you about the last center of Sahasrara. They're all coming. If I come late, it is better, I think. Still, I was quite late, I was thinking. Do you think this is needed on the eyes so much, or are you not getting my picture? Just this one, if you could little bit push it the other way. This one is too much.
That's for the camera.
That's thank you. So this last center, the Sahasrara, is contained in the limbic area of the brain. Our head is like a coconut, The coconut has the hair and then a hard nut and then a black covering, and inside is white shell of coconut, and inside is the space, the water. In the same way our brain is made. That's why coconut is called as Shri Phala. Is the fruit of the power that is Shri. Shri power is the right side power, and the left side power is the Lalita power. So we have two chakras. Left side here is the Lalita and right side here is the Shri chakra. These two chakras are working out the right side Mahasaraswati's power and left side Mahakali's powers. Now the central power is the Kundalini. That has to rise and penetrate through different chakras, enter into the limbic area and enlighten the 7 pithas, seats of these 7 chakras. So it penetrates through 6 chakras, enters into the limbic area, enlightens all the 7 pithas in the brain, which are placed along the midline of the limbic area. So we started from the back, is placed here. At the back is the Muladhara chakra. Around it is the Swadhisthana. Then is the Nabhi. Then the heart. Then the Vishuddhi, and then the Agya. So all these 6 centers are combining to make the 7th center. This is a very important point which we should know. Now the Shri chakra is the right side working and the Lalita chakra is the left side working. So when the Kundalini doesn't rise, then we do with our right side our physical and mental activities. So our brain is doing right side activity, and that's why our brain is like Shri Phala. Sahasrara is actually the assemblage of these 6 chakras and is a hollow space. On the sides of it there are 1000 nadis, and when the light penetrates into the limbic area, then the enlightenment of these nadis take place, and you can see them as flames, very gentle flames burning, and these flames have all the 7 colors that you see in the Vibgyor. But the last one ultimately becomes again integrated, and it is a crystal clear flame. All these 7 lights ultimately become crystal clear. So you have Sahasrara with 1000 petals, as they call it. But if you cut the brain in a transverse section, or horizontal section, you will be able to see that all these nerves are built like this along the limbic area. All of them are like a petal. And if you cut it like this, you will find that there are many nerves in every bundle of nerves. So when it is enlightened, you can see Sahasrara as a burning bundle of flames. When I am speaking, you should not do all these things, please. They are still coming and just disturbing now. It's a very deep subject. So when the enlightenment of the Kundalini takes place in the brain, then the truth is perceived through your brain. That's why it's called as Satya Khand, means you start seeing the truth perceived by your brain. Because so far, whatever you see through your brain is not the truth. What you see is just the outer side. Say you can see the colors. You can see the different aesthetics of the colors. You can see the quality of the thing. But you cannot say whether this carpet has been used by some saint. You cannot say whether this is made by a devil or a divine person. You cannot say that this gentleman, is he a good person or he is an evil person. You cannot say if this deity has come out of the Mother Earth or not. Also, you cannot say about any person who is your relation whether he is a good relation or a bad relation, or what sort of a person he is, whether he goes to wrong people or to the right people, whether he has connections with the wrong side or with good side. Here good means divine. So actually you do not know anything about divinity with your mind. Nothing. Nothing. It's impossible for you to judge a person about his divinity unless and until the Kundalini reaches at least this part, which is the limbic area. You cannot make out whether a person is real or not, whether a guru is real or not. Because divinity cannot be perceived through your brain unless and until this light of your spirit shines into it. Now the spirit is expressed in the heart, is reflected in the heart. The center of the spirit, we can say, is in the heart. But actually the seat of spirit is above, here. That is the spirit what we call of the God Almighty, whom you call Parvardigar, you call him Sadashiva, or you can call him the Rahim, and you can call him by many names which are said about the Lord who is God Almighty. Niranjan, they call it Nirahankar, every sort of words which start with Nira, Nihi. Now at every center in the body, you receive a different type of joy. Every center has a different type of joy, and there are names for every types of joy you receive at every center when the Kundalini rises. But when the Kundalini comes into the Sahasrara, then the joy you receive is called as Nirananda. Nirananda. Now Ni means nothing else but Ananda. Nirananda. Also surprising, my name is Nira. Also in my family I am called as Nira. And Nira also means Mary, Mariam. Because it means marine. Nira is water. Nira means water in Sanskrit language. It is called as Niranand in the brain. And this stage ultimately unfolds. First, what you know is the Satya, is the truth. What is this another gentleman is suffering from that you see on your fingers. First you see your fingers. With your attention, you know what chakras, what fingers are catching, with your attention. Then with your brain, you can depict what center it is catching. Because if you say this finger, that doesn't mean it is Vishuddhi chakra. But your brain then says it is Vishuddhi. And that depicts it that this fellow is suffering from the troubles of the Vishuddhi chakra. But still it is rational. Because you see what finger it catches and then you say. But when the Satyakhanda or the Sahasrara unfolds itself more, you don't have to think about it, you just say it. Then there is no difference between your Chitta and your Satya. The enlightened Chitta and the enlightened brain become one. There is no problem at all for such a person. There is no need to see on the fingers. No need to say anything on the fingers and then depict it through brain, which you have learnt in Sahaja Yoga. That if you find something wrong here, it means Agya. That's not necessary. You just say Agya. And you just say it and it is there. Then it unfolds more. First it is integrated with, as I said, Chitta. Then when it gets absolutely integrated with the spirit, then whatever you say is the truth. You just say it, it is so. That is how this brain unfolds into 3 new dimensions. First, it depicts the truth through logical conclusions, because I have told you that if this finger is catching, then it is Vishuddhi. And then you ask the person, have you got a problem here? He says yes. Then you believe in me, and then you believe that this is the Vishuddhi chakra which is showing is true. This is the logical conclusion. In a way that you have experimented, you are seeing, you are still doubting whether mother says it's true or not, and then you are sure, yes, it is so. We have seen this is Vishuddhi chakra. So the truth becomes logically acceptable to this brain. But still there is the brain working out on its gross level. Then the second stage, as I told you, where you believe, you know for definite that this means Vishuddhi Chakra, no doubt about it. Nobody, then we start Nirvikalpa has started, when there's no doubt about me or Sahaja Yoga. But then the new unfolding starts within. For that, one has to do meditation. In humility, one has to do meditation. And then also for this new dimension where your chitta itself becomes merged into your brain or into the enlightened brain, for that one has to very honestly and humbly surrender to Sahaja Yoga. Now what do we do when we get our vibrations? We have different reactions. Some people do not even understand the value of vibrations. Some people try to learn what it means. And some people suddenly think, oh, now they are realized souls, they can go on giving realizations, this, that. They go on a ride of an ego trip. When they go on a ride of an ego trip, then they find that they have failed and they have to come back. From the very beginning they start. It's like the game of snake and ladder. So, the reaction to vibration should be a very humble, receptive reaction. Now, on the gross level, because as I told you that the brain is the one which holds the Father in it. So, if we commit any sins against the Father, then this unfoldment in the brain takes some time. So, we start reading books. And though people have told that first see the vibrations and then read the book, still we say, oh, what's wrong, we should read other books. You go down again. Snake and ladder, as I said. That is one of the snakes. We think that what is the need to do meditation, I have no time, I have this thing, that thing. You do not progress. The other point, which is very gross, also there are some very gross people in Sahaja Yoga who enter in. Doesn't matter. But first thing you must know, you have to be honest, very honest in Sahaja Yoga. The honesty is like I have seen people, if you have a dinner, say for a marriage party, they'll just crawl into it without having any self-respect, without having any understanding as to who is going to pay for it, all this. They'll bring all their family, come down and sit down. There are people who avoid paying money which should be paid. For Sahaja Yoga, supposing they are eating food or they are traveling or they are coming from abroad, they have to pay money for their traveling, for their food. And sometimes, I have to pay a lot of money. Doesn't matter, I don't mind. But it's not good for you. The main thing is not good for you. So, how you behave towards Sahaja Yoga as far as money is concerned is also very important, though it looks gross. But it can give a big trouble in the unfoldment because of the Nabhi catching. And as you know, if the Nabhi catches, it can spread up to the whole of void, and if the void is catching Ekadasha Rudra, which is placed here, the destructive forces built in. So, before coming to Sahaja Yoga, it was alright, you are doing all kinds of things, and you would have smoothly gone to hell without any difficulties. It is very easy to go to hell. You can take 2 running jumps and go to hell. The rest of it you should see. But going to hell is the easiest thing. For that you don't have to work hard or do anything about it. But when you are ascending, When you are rising, then it is little difficult. You have to be careful that you should not falter, you should not fall, and that you are ascending. So you have to be very alert about yourself, that you are not falling into the same habits which you had. Some people have a habit of saving money at the cost of surgery. Some have a habit of making money at the cost of surgery. Some people have habit of not giving the due amount, and like that. It's something of cheating. They all go out of Sahaja Yoga in no time. They may be looking like great leaders in the beginning, but they go out just like that. And many a time people tell me, Mother, why don't you keep a proper account and all that? But in Sahaja Yoga, I am not supposed to keep any accounts or anything, because my accountants are Sahaja Yogas. If you try to play tricks with Sahaja Yoga, immediately you are pushed down in your awareness, in your Nabi Chakra. You are never helped. You may make 1,000 rupees here, but you will lose thousands of rupees. You might get into trouble. You will have any kind of a problem that I cannot tell. And then you will say, how did I get this problem? So, Nabi Chakra, if you are not honest in your seeking, honesty of seeking not only means I want to seek, it also means what is your behavior is towards yourself and towards others. You have to be honest to yourself that you sit down for meditation, try to improve your Antar Yoga, try to make your thoughtless awareness, this feeling of thoughtlessness, wider and wider. Try to achieve that state where you really feel thoughtless. So the honesty lies as you rise higher and higher, deeper and deeper into your own being. First you depend on me, that after all Mother is going to do everything. When I went to Mother, my Sahasrara opened up. This thing happened, then this thing happened. But what about you doing something that helps you to open your Sahasrara? So opening of the Sahasrara is very important. Now surprisingly, it is so placed that Sahasrara has got the Brahmarandra at the level where there is, at the point where there is the heart chakra. So we must know that Brahmarandra is directly connected to your heart. If it is not done from the heart, superficially done Sahaja Yoga, you cannot go very high. You have to put your full heart into it. That is the main thing. Like people, they come to Sahaja Yoga and they are murmuring behind. This could have been like that, that could have been like that, all those things. All such people also are what Christ calls as murmuring souls. He said that be careful about these murmuring souls. Those who go on murmuring behind and taking advantage as if they are trying to save others. All such people also can suffer a lot because they are doing a double game, and such a double game is very dangerous when you enter into the kingdom of God. Any kingdom you are member of, any kingdom, if you are treacherous to that kingdom, you are punished. But in the God's kingdom, it's so blissful, absolutely blissful. Complete blessings are poured on, absolutely with everything. Health, wealth, mental, emotional, all kinds of prosperity you can get in Sahaja Yoga, no doubt. But when you are so much blessed, you are also forgiven and forgiven and forgiven, and there is a long rope given to you to hang yourself, but you really hang fully. It's not halfway. So those people who think they can be dishonest with Sahaja Yoga have to be very careful. Please don't do it. If you don't like to be in Sahaja Yoga, you better go away. It's better from your point of view and from our point of view also. Because in case you are dishonest, you are trying to play tricks and games, and you suffer, and you look funny and strange, then people will say, what's wrong with Sahaja? So we will unnecessarily suffer. Because we cannot show you in the mirror that this man has been very, very disloyal. We cannot show that. So it will bring a bad name to us, first of all. And secondly, you will be harmed by this kind of a thing. If you are harmed, then also we will have a bad name, that how could it happen? But if you are honest about Sahaja Yoga and about your seeking, you don't know how much God looks after you. Anybody who tries to do any harm to you will be very badly harmed and removed from your path. God protects you out and out, and He looks after you with complete attention and care. And He is so loving that description of His compassion cannot be given in words, but can be only felt and understood. Now the problem is, people who are dishonest are, because of their background sometimes, because of their education, because of their upbringing, or maybe because they are cowards. But there is also another thing that can make you dishonest, is your purva janmas, and that's how you take your birth and your kundali is made like that. But after realization, those people who are of a great valor and great strength ascend so fast that all the problems of the stars, all the problems of your nakshatras and all that, constellations, everything disappears, and you become a Sahajogi, means a newly born, absolutely a different personality. It has nothing to do from where you have come. Like an egg becoming a beautiful bird. So this Kundalini, when it arrives here, the first hurdle the Kundalini has to enter into Sahasrara is Ekadasha Rudra, is here. There are 11 Rudra Shaktis, 11 destroyed Shaktis placed here. 5 on this side, 5 on the other side, and 1 in the center. These are obstruction within us, built by 2 kinds of sins we commit. If we bow our head to wrong type of gurus and submit ourselves to their vicious ways, then we develop Rudra problems on the left hand side. These 5 go out. If you have, I think it's the other way now. If you have bowed, because I've never bowed to anybody wrong, so I don't know what to say. The mistake comes from there. If you bow to someone who is a wrong type of a person and who is anti-God, then the problem comes on this side of the thing, on the right side. If you have the sense that I can look after myself, I am my own guru, who can teach me. I don't want to listen to anybody, and I don't believe in God. Who is God? I just don't care for God. All such feeling, if you have, then your right side doesn't catch, but the left side catches. Because right side moves this side and the left side this side. So these 10 things, and one is Virata Vishnu, because also in the stomach we have got 10 Guru Sthanas and one that of Vishnu. So the seeking is also wrong, as well as these 10 Gurus are there. Then you develop this Ekadasha Rupa. When this thing is set in within you, as I said, one on this side, one on that side. So those people who are bound to wrong type of people develop a temperament or a kind of a personality which is very vulnerable for incurable diseases like cancer and all that. You may develop cancer or any such disease. Those who are bound to wrong type of people. Now those who think I am better than anybody else, I don't care for God, I don't want God, I have nothing to do, all such people develop the left side Ekadasha. And left side Ekadasha is extremely dangerous too, because such people develop the problems of the right side, heart attacks, physically I am saying, and all other problems of the right side. So one of the greatest hurdles of Kundalini entering into Sahasrara is this Ekadasha Rupa, which comes from void. And which covers the Medha, is the plate of the brain. And that is how it cannot enter into the limbic area. Even those who have been to wrong gurus, if they have reached right conclusion and surrender themselves to Sahaja, accepting their mistakes and saying that I am my own guru, they can be cured. And those who have been thinking that I am above all, I don't believe in God, who is God, I don't believe in any prophets or anything against God or prophets is the same. Anti-God personality who talks like that, who develops the problems, gets alright if he humbles down himself and accepts Sahaja is the only way of entering into the super consciousness. I have seen people who have been tantrikas are being saved. I have seen people who have done all kinds of wrong things have been saved. Those people who were members of very funny, strange organizations have been saved. But it is very difficult to convince anyone that whatever they are doing has been wrong and they should come to right path. So, a star came to play its part for Pluto, and this star is the one which has brought cancer disease, because Pluto is the one that cures cancer or all such diseases which are incurable. So those people who just go headlong into wrong paths. Suffer from funny type of heart troubles, palpitations, insomnia, vomitings, giddiness, all sorts of we can say irrelevant talking. It is a very serious thing to go to a wrong guru and bow to him. Sahasrara becomes a closed area for such a person. The persons who are against Sahaja Yoga have a very strong Sahasrara, like a nut, in the sense that it's such a strong shell that you cannot just break it. It's a strong shell, like a thick nut. Even if you want to use a hammer, you cannot break it. Today, the time has come that you have to recognize Sahaja. You have to. You did not recognize any saints, any prophets, anyone, any incarnations. But today the condition is that you have to recognize. If you do not recognize it, your Sahasrara cannot be open, because this is the time when the Sahasrara was open and you have to have your realization. So it's a very important thing that you have to recognize Sahaja Yoga. There are many people who say that, Mother, why to believe in Sahaja Yoga this way? We can just call you just Mother, you could be my mother. See? Alright, doesn't matter. But you can't get your realization. And even if you get it, you cannot retain it. So you have to recognize. Recognition is the only worship of Sahaja. Recognition is the only worship when you want to know God in Sahaja. All the other ganas, devatas, deities, shaktis are one in unison in Sahaja. And anyone who does not recognize Sahaja Yoga, they just are not bothered about you, what sort of a person you are. For example, a man who worships Shiva, he comes to me and I find his heart is catching. Surprising. He says, Mother, I worship Shiva. How is it my heart is catching? I said, you have to recognize Sahaja Yoga. Just ask Shiva. And when he asks the questions to Shiva, then only the vibrations start flowing. So, Sahasrara takes charge that it makes you recognize, and also it convinces you to prove it. And by this proving, even if you are not recognizing, then you cannot get your realization. But those who recognize also recognize partly. They take liberties, they behave in a funny manner without understanding that who is this person who is here. I have seen many a times, I am talking, people are just putting their hands up, Kundalini, so they are just talking, chit-chatting. I am surprised, because if you have recognized, then you should know whom you are facing. Because it's not for my good, I am not going to lose anything. But only you in your ascent have not recognized. That shows that you have not yet recognized. And the way some people try to monopolize me also. is absolutely wrong. There is no need to monopolize, meaning nobody can monopolize. There are some people who say that mother must have misunderstood. I never misunderstand, there's no question. Or some people try to tell me do this, do that. That's also not necessary. Try to open yourself to this protocol, which is very important in Sahaja Yoga, which I have told for the first time today. That you must try to recognize in a full way. And if you do not recognize, I am sorry, I can't give you the realization it will sustain. It will start, but it may not sustain. So this is the simplest way of achieving your higher things, is by recognizing gradually and recognizing gradually. It is very difficult to tell anybody if something is wrong with that person. It's impossible. After Sahaja Yoga, I can tell you this chakra is catching, that chakra is catching. But also because you know what does that chakra means, you can come back on me, no mother, you see it's not so, I'm not. That's not so. Why should I tell you you are catching? You have to cleanse yourself with full honesty. But first thing is to recognize with full humility and understand. Once you have recognized, gradually you will do everything that has to be done. You know what is to be done. Now the essence of Sahasrara is integration.
अब हम सभी श्री माता जी की आरती करेंगे।
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने लिए अवतार माँ, कितने लिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मेरा उसको माँ, सुख ही मेरा उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ। लौट के ना जाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियारा, माँ कर दिया उजियारा। कलियुग में माया है, कलियुग में माया है, फिर भी पहचाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर, दुख से दूर करना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधुर संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधुर संगीत सुन लो। हो सके जो सेवा, हो सके जो सेवा, हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी सरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री शक्ति माता नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
Shri.